on Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalerigu.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your time this afternoon. We'll settle for the details of our stories now. Ghana's Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta and Central Bank Governor Dr. Ernest Addison are intensifying their efforts to reach an agreement with bilateral creditors for debt relief. This agreement is crucial for Ghana to secure the second tranche of $600 million from the $3 billion bailout package. The endeavors are supported by the IMF chief, who has held meetings with them in Morocco during the 2023 annual IMF and World Bank meeting. My colleague Vivian Kailuko is attending the IMF annual meetings and joins us live from Morocco for a telephone interview to give us more. Hello, Vivian. Many thanks for joining us. Now, how are the annual IMF meetings going, and what more do we know about meetings by Ghanaian officials with creditors, the fund, and other stakeholders?
Well, thank you very much, Wilma. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Right, great. So the annual IMF and World Bank meetings commenced on Monday, and all who matter on issues of the economy.
Hello, Vivian. We seem to have lost her, but we'll keep trying the lines and we'll come back later. But Charles has other stories.
Amidst the ongoing economic crisis, the government has implemented cost control measures and is calling for support for domestic production. The country's financial difficulties have forced the government to end its three-year hiatus from seeking aid from the IMF with a request for $3 billion in assistance. This move has drawn criticism from some quarters with calls for reduced government spending. In a yet-to-be-aired interview on Citi TV's Point of View, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, a Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, stated that the government is taking measures to stabilize the economy and boost revenue.
Government itself has started controlling its borrowing. And in addition to control our borrowing, government is aggressively pursuing revenue generation. And this is why we have recently approved a medium-term revenue strategy that will seek to increase the amount of money we generate. But even with that, expenditure is also being controlled. I mean, if you look at the data, then you will see that by half this year, we spent 68 billion cedis, which was 26% below program spending of 93 billion cedis. And so we are doing everything to ensure that money is released to the private sector.
Now, speaking on the current state of roads, the minister indicated that the Akufo-Addo-led administration has constructed more roads than any government since the era of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Government has achieved a lot in terms of road infrastructure. I mean, I don't have the figures here, but never in the history of this country has a government done as many road projects as this government has done. And the Ministry of Roads has been given that data.
Never in the history of this country.
Never.
Including Kwame Nkrumah.
Oh, yes, including Kwame Nkrumah. I can give you, I'll give you that data. But that data is available because road minister
New
has,
roads or roads.
Yeah.
Roads.
Oh, now you are.
Yeah, because that claim has been made by the Ministry of Roads before.
Yes, I've heard it before.
They are changing the goalposts, right?
You've heard it before. So
yeah, but that doesn't
we
make it
don't
true.
need to even drill
That
down to
never
whether
in the history of
new
this
roads.
country.
Of course, you can't say only new
Come
roads.
on.
There are new roads you do. There are roads you maintain. You know,
That even
sport
included
improvement. You know,
Yeah.
so but you can interrogate the data.
But we have to use the same measure for the whole. You can't change the. You can't change the division of a new road on the basis of this government.
Bernard, you can interrogate the data, whether it's by sport improvement or by new roads. In all the classification of roads, we've done better.
That was Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, speaking to Citi TV's Bernard Avle on the Point of View scheduled to air tonight at 9 p.m.
We'll go back to our first story where the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and Central Bank Governor Dr. Ernest Addison are intensifying their efforts to reach an agreement with bilateral creditors for debt relief. My colleague Vivian Kai-Luko has joined us again live from Morocco over the phone to tell us more. Vivian, many thanks again. If you can hear me, we were asking if you can give us an idea of the IMF meeting going on and what more we know about it.
Well, Wilma, if you can hear me, the annual IMF meetings commenced here in Marrakesh, in Morocco, on Monday, and we have all who matter on issues around the economy here, from governors, finance ministers, CSOs, and what have you. Now, the key issues being discussed this year, of course, is hovering around debts, which appears to be a big problem, not just for Africa, but quite a number of countries across the globe. Revenue generation and improvements around that is also a big discussion here in Morocco. And then we have, of course, issues to do with fiscal stability and the climate, among others. But for Ghana, the key issue now is the discussion by the finance minister and the governor of the central bank with the IMF chief herself. And that meeting happened yesterday night here in Marrakesh. The meeting, we're told, covered a number of issues, but of course, the key one was Ghana's success in passing the review test for the second tranche of the IMF bailout, which will see us get some extra $600 million. But the most important of the discussion was on getting creditors, and for that matter, bilateral creditors, to provide some debt relief for Ghana. And we're looking at millions of dollars here. Now, Wilma, remember that the IMF this year had asserted that regarding the official bilateral debt, the next step was for Ghana to reach an agreement with the fund on the specific modalities of how official creditors intend to deliver debt relief consistent with the IMF program parameters. So we have officials here in Ghana trying to get these bilateral creditors to agree to provide some sort of debt for the country so the review process can move forward. Now, apart from this crucial meeting, we had the fund release its economic outlook. That's the World Economic Outlook report yesterday, which captures all its members, including Ghana. And this time around, from the report, the fund had a much more optimistic outlook for Ghana's economic growth for next year if you compare that to what it projected for the last year or this year as well. So if you look at the rates, for example, it is projecting that Ghana is likely to grow by some 2.7% for next year. It had projected 1.2% for this year, which was pretty tiny. If you look at the projection it made for last 2 years, which was 3.1%. So discussions are still ongoing here at Marrakesh in Morocco. The finance minister, together with the governor, are also expected to meet other key officials from governors and finance ministers from Africa, from the World Bank executives. Yesterday, he met with the World Bank president and the World Bank MD as well. He's hoping to meet with much or many more officials, all in a bid to push to get Ghana to reach the proper economic standing it is expecting to reach. Woma.
Now, Vivian, before we let you go, we get the impression that without the financing assurances from the bilateral creditors, the $6 million may not be disbursed. 600, I beg your pardon, $600 million may not be disbursed as scheduled.
Like I said, it's a crucial part in getting that money to get to us. It's part of the agreement we signed onto. Because remember, the debt levels are pretty high, and for the fund to move ahead to give us that 600 million, a key component is to get rid of a huge chunk of the debt, which also lies within the bilateral creditors. So that is an important step for us to take or to establish before that $600 million can be gotten. But from discussions we've had with some of the officials here, they are hopeful and optimistic that they would be able to get the creditors to agree to that. And also having the IMF chief speak or to the creditors by that tweet she posted today is a clear indication of her pushing for creditors to um, quickly go ahead and approve the debt relief for Ghana to move to the next level.
Well, thank you so much for that update. That was my colleague Vivian Kai Loco live from Morocco, where the IMF meetings are ongoing. Charles will bring us some other stories.
Let's now go to Parliament. The committee investigating an audio recording related to the alleged plot against the Inspector General of Police continued its closed-door hearings today. Key witnesses, including Chief Bugri Nabu, COP George Alex Mensah, and Superintendent George Asari, were present at the hearing. However, Inspector General of Police Dr. George Akufu Dampare, who was excused from parts of Tuesday's hearing due to health reasons, was not in attendance today. Kofi Bentil, the spokesperson for the IGP's legal team, addressed the media regarding the proceedings.
One of the important things that came up yesterday had to do with the controversy concerning the tape that Chief Bukinabu presented. Earlier on, in a statement, JB had said that there was a problem with it. But yesterday, he confirmed that indeed Chief Bukinabu was right. He also came out that the tape was not doctored. It came out that the tape is just a longer version of the older tape. Everything on the old tape is still on the new tape. So yesterday they corrected that fact. Everybody agreed that Chief Buginabu was right. He didn't lie. What he said was the truth. The tape is not doctored, and everything was okay. So JB admitted to that, and it was taken down in the record. Both of them actually. Both of them. Note that we said yesterday they came and corrected portions of their statements, and this is one of the important parts that were corrected. Note that Chief Buginabu is a chief, and it's a serious thing when you say that he has lied. So yesterday, that correction had sufficient weight that indeed everything the chief had said was true, correct. And the tape was not doctored. It's just a long version and a short version. The long version had all kinds of things that were not relevant. So the suggestion that there was a doctoring of the tape was entirely not true. If you compare the two tapes, everything that was on the short version is what was on the long version, plus all the other stuff that was not necessary. The important part is that the witnesses confirmed that there was nothing untoward. Chief Buginabu did not, doctor or do anything. They committed and admitted that he was right, okay, and they amended their statements to that effect. What the public must know is that, look, everything that has to be brought out has been brought out. It is clear that really, sometimes you have a storm which is in the teacup. This is really not a matter that should have taken, us all this stress and time.
You heard spokesperson for the IGP's legal team, Kofi Bentil. Meanwhile, Chief Bugri Nabu has claimed that proceedings at the in-camera hearings have proven that he did not doctor the said tape.
Mensah, Asari, and JB denied that they never talked to me on phone. Yesterday, they confessed it because I presented the tape, and the committee have the tape now with them, and they play it, and they say, yes, it's true. They actually speak to me. So I want to tell you, I want them to committee to see it, but the committee says they want to conclude before they come out. But as a chief, and which day I told you that, which he wouldn't tell us, after all what they want. I was in my office, they came. I didn't beg them to come. And all what they come to say, I think it was very, very important. And for the state secret, for MPP government, to have that kind of thing going on in the police service is very dangerous. So I taped them to go and give it to the president, which I actually surrendered the tape to the president.
That was former Northern Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Chief Bugri Nabu.
Now, customers of the now defunct Gold Coast Fund Management Company have continued their protest outside the Ministry of Finance, now on their second day. They are demanding the release of their frozen funds and have camped outside the ministry overnight to draw attention to their cause. They are adamant about not leaving until they receive a positive response from the government. Here is the group's convener, Charles Nyami.
We will sleep here with the workers. Let the policemen come. I said, you wait. We will not explain it, but we will sleep here with them. No policeman can stop that. No policeman, even the IGP cannot stop that. Unless they shoot us with live bullets. I promise them. I promise them. Everybody in this building will sleep here with us today. They will not go out to their homes. They will feel how it looks like. That is our message for them today. Colonel Friata is not on top of the law. We can't. The parliament cannot give him an amount of 8.6 billion, and he pockets it, and we have no man in this nation to question him. Yeah. We will question him today. Yes. That's why we will question him today. Yes. Whoever that has entered this building will sleep here with us. Yes. If we have to sleep here, they will sleep here with us. Yes. That's all.
You heard the convener of the customers of the now defunct Gold Coast Fund Management Company, Charles Nyame. We go over the phone lines to speak to my colleague Kennedy Chumesi, who has been with the protesters since yesterday, to give us an update. Kennedy, many thanks for your time. Clearly from the soundbite, the customers seem very, very angry. What is the mood there?
So, Roma, currently, just like yesterday, they spent the night camped outside the ministry to send a strong message to the government concerning their demands. And the action, according to them, forms part of their unwavering commitment and vowing not to vacate the ministry's entrance until they receive a positive response from the government. They continued their protest this morning, and the protesters, who are customers of the defunct Gold Coast Fund Management Company, as I speak to you, they've moved from the entrance of the Finance Ministry to wait under a tent that is set up in the morning. So this decision comes after one chief superintendent of the Ghana Police came in to assure them that leaders at the ministry are in the meeting and would attend to them after 12 p.m. So they heeded to that call and moved to their tent. Shortly after the interaction, a Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Mohammed Adam, he came in to meet the leaders of the protesters, who are the customers of the defunct Gold Coast Fund Management Company. But the leader of the customer, in their interaction with the minister indicated that he appealed to them to withdraw their members and he called for a dialogue tomorrow. But the leader of the customer did not give the minister an answer immediately. He went back and spoke to their members. After an engagement, they indicated that they will only call off their protest pending the meeting tomorrow. But now the leader of the protesters, the person of South Nyame, is with the ministry trying to relay the final decision that the group took to suspend their protest to the ministry. So currently, as I speak to you, Charles Nyame is in the ministry and he will address the press very soon.
Well, thank you so much for that update. That was my colleague Kennedy Chumesi bringing us up to speed on the picketing by the customers of the now defunct Gold Coast Fund Management Company at the Ministry of Finance. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, inflation rate for the month of September drops to 38.1%. We'll bring you details of this and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Isn't it amazing how something as simple as clean hands can change the world around us? Let's take a moment to appreciate the power of clean hands. Imagine the possibilities when you keep your hands clean. Allow me to remind you of some 5 instances when clean hands can make all the difference. Before indulging in your favorite banku, gobe or wache, after a visit to the restroom, while caring for a loved one who needs your support, right after you've sneezed, coughed, or handled a tissue, and every time you touch public surfaces. Think about it. Clean hands mean our children can go to school without worries, our hospitals can provide top-notch care, and our workplaces can thrive. These moments might seem trivial, but they keep you and those around you safe and healthy. This message is brought to you by WaterAid Ghana. Follow us on social media for more tips on hand hygiene.
Citi TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on channel 363. On GoTV, we're on channel 117, and on HD+, get us on channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search, but take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV. Citi TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and HD+ boxes. Citi TV, it's your world.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for your time. Welcome back from that break. We'll continue with the bulletin. And health and environmental experts are stressing the importance of strict adherence to safety measures in the workplace, particularly in the light of the tragic incident where 3 technical experts suffocated while repairing a reservoir in Koforidua. According to a health, safety and environmental analyst, Kobna Ofosu-Nketia, proper training, risk assessment, and continuous monitoring of safety equipment are essential to prevent such incidents in the future.
Working in confined spaces presents serious risk, especially when dealing with substances like fuel. So employers and workers must strictly adhere to safety protocols to prevent these accidents from happening. And so these protocols include proper training. Workers must be given proper training, risk assessment, and then also continuous monitoring, and then the availability of necessary safety equipment such as a gas monitor to check the atmospheric condition in the confined space or in the reservoir, and then also provide respiratory protection for the workers. So workers should also have a clear understanding of the emergency procedures that must be followed, including when and how to call for help. So you shouldn't just jump into a space because you called a friend and then the friend couldn't respond. So I'm also going there, and that's a very bad safety culture.
Kobna Ofosu-Nketia is a health, safety, and environmental expert.
Now, the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, has recognized the difficulties faced by customers when purchasing prepaid credits on its Newsroom platform and has put temporary measures in place to address these problems. Many customers on the Newsroom platform have reported issues obtaining prepaid credits, leading to prolonged power outages in their homes. ECG's manager of external communications, Leila Abubakari, extended apologies to the affected customers and assured them of a prompt resolution to the problem. She noted that Newsroom platform is managed by an international company which has contributed to longer response times.
One of our meter service applications, which is the Newsroom under Calstrap, has developed a fault. The token generator is unable to generate tokens for customers who have run out of power or want to top up. This is a very unfortunate situation, and we really apologize to all our customers who are currently going through this. However, we've come up with some temporary solutions to solve this issue. For now, those who are out of power and would need a top-up can go to the nearest vendor for them to vend directly onto the meter for them. The other solution is that we've developed some sort of a temporary token generator. Just because it's not the actual token generator, it's taking a longer while to generate in bulk. So it's doing it in bits, but we hope that by the end of the day, should have cleared quite some considerable amount of the backlog of those who are trying to purchase power.
What are the engineers behind this particular software telling you?
The engineers are the ones who have developed the temporary solution for now. Newsroom is actually an international metering software of which ECG does not own the proprietorship. We have to still work with the Newsroom system generators and those who work behind behind NURI itself when it comes to our service provision to those on this meter. So we usually have to rely on NURI when there's an issue because they have a separate application from many of the other meters.
You heard the manager in charge of external communications at ECG, Leila Abubakari.
The Ghana Statistical Service has reported a decrease in the inflation rate, which fell to 38.1% in the month of September. This marked a notable decline from the 40.1% inflation rate recorded in August, representing a 1.9% difference. Additionally, food inflation for September was at 49.4%, whereas in August it stood at 51.9%. Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna Enim shared these highlights.
In the month of September 2023, annual rate of inflation stood at 38.1%, indicating a 2.0 percentage slowdown in the rate of inflation. Despite the slowdown in the rate of inflation, prices of goods and services in Ghana continue to increase, as relative to September 2022, prices of goods and services overall have gone up by 38.1% between September 2022 and September 2023. Disaggregating this from a food and non-food inflation perspective, food and non-food inflation recorded a disparity in excess of 20 percentage points, specifically with food inflation recording a rate of 49.4% relative to non-food inflation 29.3%. While we see a 2.5 percentage drop in food inflation, we are seeing a 1.6 percentage drop from a non-food perspective. For inflation on imported items and inflation on locally produced items, we see a 1.6 percentage point difference between food inflation, between locally produced items and imported items, with imported items recording a higher rate of 39.9% and locally produced items recording 37.3%.
Professor Samuel Kobnenim is government statistician.
Now, members of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners in the Ashanti region are considering a protest due to perceived harassment of licensed small-scale miners by the military. The association alleges that over 80 excavators belonging to their licensed members were seized by officers in the Amansia South area. The Ashanti Regional Secretary of the association, Edu Jemfi, has given authorities a 7-day ultimatum to release the excavators, threatening that members will take to the streets if their demands are not met.
And we have plans as far advanced for a demonstration if this thing continues to happen, because we won't allow that thing to go on at the detriment of our members. More so, if you consider other areas where mining are done, you don't observe the situation as it happens in Ashanti region. So we are much concerned about that. And I don't know if it is sanctioned by the government or if the military on their own decide to go on that operations. We want the government to address that issue once and for all, if he doesn't want to hear anything bad from us. And we are also telling the government we have had enough with the MPP administration so far as small-scale mining is concerned. So they should make sure that our members who are not in the red zones are given the free will to do their mining. But those who are within the red zones, for that, we are not in support. We simply support government in any attempt to make sure that we sanitize small-scale mining in this government. But the selective approach and the undue harassment on our members, that is what we are calling for, so that the right thing is done.
Now, the association also expressed frustration regarding delays by the Lands and Natural Resources Minister in the signing of new licenses and renewals.
More so, another issue is our licenses. We have a lot of us who have applied for licenses, but it will interest you to know that the minister is not signing these licenses. According to MCAS, the MCAS is Minerals Commission's application portal online. Now we do the registration online. Over 5,000 licenses and recommendations which are due for the minister's signature are not done. And it also thwarts the effort of the government to reduce small-scale mining. Because if you consider not to give out the licenses, obviously, some people are within mining areas which the mining is a craft. That is what they depend on. So we are also calling on the government to talk to the minister, and we are daring the minister. He should come out and tell us the number of licenses he has signed on assumption since assumption of office. We see it as not helping the government in its efforts to make sure that people who are doing illegal small-scale mining do it legally.
Edu Jamfi is the Ashanti Regional Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners.
The management of Kintampo Waterfalls has denied claims that illegal mining, also known as galamsey, is causing damage to the popular tourist attraction. Videos on social media have shown the waterfall was with a discolored brownish appearance, which led to some to connect it with illegal mining activities. However, the facility's management has stated that the discolored water is as a result of heavy rainfall that caused its primary water source, the Pum Pum River, to overflow its banks, carrying debris and sediments into the waterfall. Franklin Owusu, the site manager of the Kintampo Waterfall, explained the situation.
As it is normal color. Even one thing is, you see, when it continues raining for a period of time, it washes all the dirt away. So when it even rains, there will be no more dirt as you see again. As currently as it rained all throughout the night, but today the water is clean as well, as it is normal. And then one thing too is that on the beach of the Pum Pum River, that crosses the link up, there's a road that is being under construction. And you could see this road, that made the water red, that color that we saw it. You see, the sun. They were filling the road with this red soil on the road. And then when it rains, it washes all of it throughout the part of the waterfall. But I think the work is even is now gotten a higher stage. That's why the water has come to its normal.
Franklin also further added that adequate security measures are in place to guard against activities of illegal mining.
Yeah, I don't think it was over. Initially, I told you that almost all the pathways are rocks. So we don't have any deep water, shallow, this and that, maybe it will hinder people to come into mine in the water. It's just a shallow one that the water passes through it. You see? So I don't get this. And I don't believe in trust. Nobody. No, it can never happen that way because all the 10-kilometer journey to the fall, we have trees around it. We have forest division going around it every day because there are many things around the river banks. So I don't think it will happen that way. I never think of that. I don't think. So now everybody should be rest assured that for galamsey at the fall, no, it's not going to happen.
Franklin Owusu is site manager at the Kintampo Waterfall.
Now, the one-week commemoration service for the late former First Lady Theresa Kufuor began today with a solemn event attended by President Akufo-Addo, Vice President Dr. Bawumia, and other dignitaries. Theresa Kufuor, who was 87 years old, was the wife of former President John Agyekum Kufuor. She passed away at her residence on Sunday, October 1, 2023, after a prolonged illness. Many dignitaries who paid their respects at the one-week service fondly remembered the former First Lady as a nurturing mother figure and a strong support behind the accomplishments of the former President Kufuor.
Mother Teresa, we lost a lady, a humble woman, who will receive all manner of people into her household and treat them with respect and says the good Lord will receive her soul in eternity.
I also knew her as a very compassionate person who cared deeply about the plight of mothers and their children. And she did whatever she could. In fact, I would say she may have been the influence for some of the decisions President Kufuor took about making sure that mothers could go on and have birth without pain.
Again, I remember her for the Mother and Child Foundation, the extraordinary role that she played. And also as a mother when the husband was contesting to be leader of our party and post being elected flag bearer and president of our nation. She brought all of us together. She'll be missed. She was such a sweet mother. Let me also extend my deepest condolences to His Excellency, the former president, the children, the nuclear family, and the extended family, and the people of Ghana.
You heard some mourners eulogizing the late Threat Akufo at the ongoing one-week service.
The Office of the Special Prosecutor has accused former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Dapa of trying to obstruct the Republic from responding to affidavits in opposition to the application for the confirmation of freezing and seizure orders. This accusation comes in response to her application for an abridgment of time for the hearing of the confirmation application. Madame Dapa's lawyers argued that the delay in hearing the matter was causing undue hardship to them, and the application for confirmation was a repeat application, so granting their request to abridge time would not be prejudiced to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. However, the Office of the Special Prosecutor opposed the application, alleging that Cecilia Dapa was attempting to prevent them from responding to her affidavit in opposition to the substantive application for the confirmation of freezing and seizure orders. The court is set to deliver a ruling on this matter at 3 p.m. today.
Now, residents of Anlo Beach in the Shamar district of the Western region have appealed to the government to help the community relocate to a new site following recent destructive tidal waves that destroyed over 50 homes. Speaking to Citi News after suffering from a devastating tidal wave, the assemblyman for Anlo Beach and victims, who were visibly frustrated about the situation, urged the government to facilitate their relocation. Citi News' Akwasi Jenim has more details.
The people of Anlo Beach in the Shamar district of the Western region in the last decade have suffered devastation from tidal waves, usually between July and October. This invariably has led to the loss of houses and other properties.
As long as these heavy tides will continue to come at the shore of the Shamar and Low Beach, the issue of tidal waves and its destruction of structures such as this at the Anlo Beach in the Shamar district will never come to an end. And therefore, the call over here from the Anlo Beach is for government to quickly look at fixing them a sea defense wall.
Initially, we were talking of a sea defense, but later we were made to understand that the sea defense, the cost involved is too enormous, and for that matter, it will not be possible. So the community have agreed with the authority of resettlement to the higher ground. So at the moment, the community is ready to move to the higher ground for the resettlement.
Last Wednesday, around 3 a.m., the waves of the sea started coming to the town, and they started demolishing houses here and there. And it went up to 10 o'clock in the morning. And then about 175 houses were destroyed, and the households.
In fact, that day, it took the intervention of God. Like, we will not hear good news. A lot of houses were demolished as a result of the tidal waves. Several houses were demolished that day, and people were homeless. You know, formally, when it happens, at that time we have a lot of houses of which those affected can lodge. But as at now, people are still stranded. They have nowhere to sleep. People are even sleeping outside. And looking at the weather, now we know we are still in the rainy season, minor rainy season. And so it is really affecting those people who were really affected.
Unfortunately, stranded residents who lost their homes last week are yet to receive relief items from the government, despite NADMO officials coming to take their details. The former president, John Dramani Mahama, upon hearing the plight of the Anlo community through the Shaman NDC parliamentary candidates, donated assorted relief items to the affected residents, including mattresses, bags of rice, cartons of oil, tinned fish, tinned tomatoes, blankets, and many more.
it's hard, it's difficult. So when His Excellency heard of it, he decided to come and support them with a few items, some food items and some sleeping items. So some rice, some oil, some mackerel, some tomato, some blankets and some mattresses. So that is why we are here today. The community has been very receptive and very appreciative, but they've also made a request. What it is that Awuna Beach must resettle from here. They have agreed to resettle, but there's need for support for the land to be graded so they can go. We are told that this assembly says they don't have money for diesel, for fuel, for bulldozer to go and clear the land.
While thanking the former president for the relief items, the assemblyman for Anlo Beach and residents appealed to the government for a permanent solution by supporting the community to relocate to a new site given to them in 1998.
We are still talking to the DCE, of which he keep on promising on daily basis, on weekly basis, of providing a dozer to grade the place. Initially, the community was thinking probably they should start something for them, but now we have realized that that will not be possible. So we need only the social amenities. We talk of the toilet facilities, the water, and other social amenities at the new settlement area. But at the moment, if we are able to get only a grader or a dozer to grade the place or to pave way for the people to pass through and then to start putting out the building, that will be enough for now.
Yes, we really appreciate what they have given us. And so we are appealing on behalf of the community. We are appealing the former president that come what May 2024, when he become the president, he should remember us. He should remember us. But for now,
Remember in what sense?
remember us, that is to relocate us. At least, those days there are a lot of work that we do which generates a lot of money. But now, looking at the sea, we are not getting enough catch. As a result of that, we cannot afford to build our own houses. So, come what may, 2024, when he become the president, at least we want to get affordable houses of which everybody can have a comfort. We are also appealing that we have a place where we can resettle. And for that matter, immediate effect, we want him to, in his own capacity, to get a grader or a peel loader or bulldozer to come and then clear the place for us, so that those who were affected, at least if they can erect a temporary structure to lodge over there, I think it will be helpful for us.
For City News, I'm Akwese Jenim, Shama, and Lobich.
And in the studios of Citi FM, I'm Wilma Wobisa Coleman here with Charles Owusukumi. You are listening to the Citi Prime News. Still to come in the bulletin, workers of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, they are demanding the immediate removal of the Director General over allegations of inefficient management of the broadcasting company. We'll bring you details of this and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
The 11th West African Clean Energy and Environment Fair, WACI 2023, takes place from the 18th to the 19th of October 2023 at the Grand Arena, Accra International Conference Center. Be part of the interactive sessions on clean energy, water, and circular economy. This two-day festival brings together West African and European industry experts, plus a showcase of exciting companies and the latest innovations from Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. Immerse yourself in insightful workshops on waste management, Ghana's decarbonization efforts, and circular economy platform on plastics and e-waste, organized by GIZ. WACI 2023 is organized by the Delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Ghana and supported by the Konrad Adenauer Foundation. Media partners Citi FM, Joy FM, and BNFT. Entry is free. For further information, visit waki.net or call 0242 438 760.
Happy birthday to you. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Now, some workers of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, GBC, are demanding the immediate removal of their Director General due to what they believe is his alleged inefficient mismanagement of the state broadcaster. They hoisted red banners inside and outside the GBC premises to emphasize their demands. According to the workers, the Director General's 4-year contract expired on October 1, and any further extension will be detrimental to the corporation.
Last week that we read a notice on the board, a communicate from the management severed their working relationship with the union of GBC, and they've addressed that letter to our national chairman of the Public Service Workers Union. It is out of that we have to organize a staff debate because the decision has gone viral. It's on the tablets and the newspaper. So we decided to have a debate to say that the decision taken by management is illegal. It's born out of a result that workers of GBC is resisting an attempt to extend the contract. Our Director General contract has expired on the 1st of October 2023. As a result, workers are resolved that since we're giving him peaceful 4-year tenure, but we are not happy. The corporation is deteriorating. Things to work have become a challenge, and we realize that we need to make the appointed authority understand that if they extend the contract extension of that, the place will become totally collapsed.
Which categories of workers are we talking about of these?
GPC is entire, we have different. So all of us here, we come from various divisions, engineering, technical, finance, radio and TV, across all. So there's nobody marketing, all the division that exists in GBC.
Samuel Nathaniel Kevo is the Public Services Workers Union Divisional Chairman of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.
Now, the decision by the University of Ghana to dismiss students who have not met their stipulated minimum cumulative grade point average has been welcomed by some educationists. The school's decision, which is in line with Section 926 of the university's regulations for progressive learning, has been met with mixed reactions among the student population. But speaking to Citi News, Senior Programs Officer of Africa Education Watch says the decision by the school should be supported to maintain standards.
We want our universities to get to that point or maintain the status we've known them for. You look at University of Cape Coast, University of Ghana, KNUST, if you look at some of the global rankings we have been seeing, they are doing well. Some are placing first in Africa, in West Africa. And if we want them to maintain the status we've known them for or even improve upon it, then we need to have them ensure that they maintain their academic standard. And that standard includes the performance of students. So for us, the issue of dismissing students who haven't met the least benchmark when it comes to academic performance, it's not something that we'll contest. It's something that has been there for years, and we will support universities in ensuring that they maintain their standard when it comes to academic performance. So we'll not contest this, but I think it's something that the students are right aware of, and as part of their programs, they're expected to perform well so that they do not become victims of such instance of dismissal.
That was Senior Programs Officer at Africa Education Watch, Divine Pay.
Now, heads of assisted senior high schools, CHAS, is unhappy with the long delay in the supply of foodstuff to senior high schools across the country. CHAS says senior high schools should be given the opportunity to purchase its own food items for its students. Speaking at the 61st National Annual Conference, President of CHAS, Reverend Stephen Owusu-Chere, says CHAS must have a say in the food items given to schools.
We wish to request that subsequent releases for the conduct of practicals should meet the total cost of practicals. The practice of schools resorting to credit facilities to meet the requirements for practical examinations should be avoided at all costs. To sum it all, Nietzsche, schools have to be strongly positioned financially to let things happen the way they should, so that we could achieve our set goals. We are, as usual, urging management to ensure timely release of the entire funding of the schools to make our work less stressful. Monies allocated for all activities must be increased significantly to meet the current market price of goods and services. This will help to provide our students with required resources for their educational needs. CHAS also passionately wish to reiterate our plea to management to allow the various schools procure the food items to feed the students.
Reverend Stephen Owusu-Chere is president of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools, CHAS.
Now, a leading global content connectivity solutions provider, SES HD Plus Ghana Limited, has collaborated with the Ghana Prison Service to provide training to female officers on the installation and operation of decoders. This initiative aims to equip the female officers with additional skills and knowledge. In an interview with Citi News, the Chief Executive Officer for SES HD Plus Ghana Limited, Adelaide Abiu-William, says the training program reflects their commitment to enhancing the capacity and capabilities of personnel of the prison service.
Women, if only they are empowered and supported, can deliver socio-economic progress within the societies that they find themselves in. And one of the partners that we decided to work with is the Ghana Prison Service. And so together with the leadership, we are rolling out this training to women prison officers so that they can impact how quality TV satellite installation is done within their enclave. And then hopefully we can roll out this training to other prison regional offices across the country.
That was Adelaide Abiu-Williams. She's the Chief Executive Officer for SES HD Plus Ghana Limited.
Now, Paramount Chief of Buipe Traditional Area, Buipe Abdullahi Jinapor II, is urging swift assistance for flood victims in the Buipe Township. The ongoing floods have displaced thousands of people in the central Gonja district capital. Following a visit to the affected area, the Buipe has appealed to government and charitable organizations to provide relief to the displaced victims.
Well, all that we are trying to do is that we are sending a message to Ghana and the whole world. We are in a serious problem. Our great township, which is the economic value to the whole Bupe area and beyond, is met in water. So it is affecting even our economy seriously. So all that for me I want to say, why I've come here is that, and why I've called you the media is that, please hit the ground, hit the airways, and let the whole world know that Bridge, for that matter, Bupe, we are in serious problem. Very, very serious. So we are pleading with the government, with all the NGOs, with the churches, and the Muslim community to hear our cry. We are helpless now. Even food is a problem. Because what people are doing to have their daily bread, they cannot do it. It's not even animals are being consumed. It is not where they will sleep now, sir. It's what they will eat is the problem.
You heard the Paramount Chief of Buipe Traditional Area, Buipe Abdullahi Jinapor II. He also said he has made land available for the owners of the submerged houses to be relocated to as a permanent solution to the perennial challenge. Now, away from that, the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, have initiated concurrent investigations into the activities of the former Sanitation Minister Cecilia Abunadapa. The OSP, in a post on X, formerly Twitter, on Wednesday, indicated that these investigations primarily focus on examining their assets and financial transactions within the United States of America. According to the OSP, the collaborative effort is to ascertain the lawfulness of Ms. Dapa and her associates' wealth, both in the context of their funds transitioning from Ghana to the United States and vice versa.
Now, Citi FM and Citi TV have awarded Armstrong Nelson Jikunu, a student from Jira International School in Ashaiman, with the ultimate cash prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis for winning the Literacy Challenge 2023. In addition to the cash prize, he received a trophy, a 6-month supply of Ribbit biscuits, and the esteemed title of the Literacy Challenge Champion for 2023. In an interview with Citi News, Armstrong Jikunu expressed his gratitude for the recognition.
I am very, very excited, I must say, because I have never thought that through me, my family will be able to receive such an amount of money. I must say that I'm very happy, and I'm very grateful to CCTV, Citi FM.
So what are you going to do with the money?
Actually, I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do with the money, because I'm not the one going to use the money for what it's supposed to be used for. But I think my parents will use that money to invest into my education and that of my siblings.
That was Armstrong Jikunu. He is the winner of the 2023 edition of Citi TV and Citi FM's Literacy Challenge.
And that's it for Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, please log on to our website, citinewsroom.com. My name is Wilma Obobi-Sakoman, and I was here with
Charles Owusukumi.
Up next is the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News. Many thanks for doing the listening, and do have a good